Dave.
Ian.
We need to start with old business. Apex Adjacent, hand waving,
Automotive
automotive
podcast.
podcast.
But we're not going to talk about cars right away, are we, Ian? Because I think I have a feeling I know where you're going.
Well, no. So we're going to do an update on a loose thread that we have dangling. And that is we need to reflect on one of the conversations we had last week.
Okay.
And specifically, we both need to share the partner feedback from each of our households on whether or not any one of the four of us could land a jetliner in an emergency.
And just to recap, your stance, you, Ian,
100% confidence. If I am, my stance is, the situation is, they come on the intercom, there's an emergency. Does anyone have flight experience? Silence. Nobody has flight experience. I am the next best person. If I can communicate with the tower and do the thing, no doubt in my mind, I'm the next best person on the airplane. Doesn't matter how many people are on it.
And my stance is, no way. There is no. My voice would get so
your
high.
Stance, I was going to say, your stance is, you want me to do what?
What? My voice would get so high, it would crack the airplane windows in the cockpit. So, Ian, we don't do this a lot on the show, but we don't talk about like what we have talked about with our spouses that we talked about on our show, and then talking about us talking with our spouses.
Correct.
Right?
We try not to get too meta and navel-gazingly because that would assume that people listen to this more than once, and that seems churlish. Seems churlish to assume to make that assume.
Why are you? It was scurrilous. No, churlish. Okay.
So yeah, we normally don't do that, but this discussion was just so much fun, and I am very curious to hear what Kelly's reaction was to it.
Kelly had, she did not think that she could. She would be incredibly frightened, and she was flabbergasted that you thought you would be able to. As am I. If I'm a 9, if I'm a 9 on the flabbergast scale, she was coming in at 9.5, 9.75. Okay.
Jenny's reaction to it, I think she accepted your stance. She thought that your stance was funny. I thought the high voice thing, she thought that was funny. And she was like, no, that makes sense, because that was pretty much what her stance was as well.
Right.
Her stance with me is more one of, more tired than flabbergasted, I think. More she's been dealing with that sort of thing for 20 years, and of course you think you can. Like, I think that we do reach a point with certain people, like in our lives, where like they no longer have the ability to surprise us, right? And we disappoint.
Well, we move on to the next emotion that we would have gotten to anyway, past surprise, right? And it's funny that the first one you mentioned is disappointment.
I mean, that's usually what I experience with other people. So that other people are disappointed in me. So.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So to loop back on it, I did think that in that situation, and these are the conditions, that if I was in an empty plane with the radio, plane I think is important, with the radio, and
you don't want to put yourself in front of anybody else.
No.
Okay.
No. And also, I don't want to be responsible for other people inevitably dying.
Sure.
That's more important than me thinking that I have an ability that they don't. Is whether or not I'm killing them. I choose not to even get on the trolley, honestly.
Right.
Yeah, or walk past.
I'd rather
the
walk.
tracks.
I'd rather walk. Yeah.
But given that kind of scenario, an empty airplane, full contact with the tower, like Kelly versus me, I think Kelly might do better than me when it comes to like that that receiving information and then having an output action.
Right.
Right. And I think that we're both very good at that. And I think that like the three of us, like you in your career, like Kelly and I in ours, I think that we are conditioned to that kind of stuff in emergency response scenarios. And but for some reason, there's just something about her personality that I think would give her an edge in that situation. Yeah, but yeah, yeah, I think that she would have a better chance than I would. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. When it comes to how you think Jenny would do in that situation, because this is a thing about you, I think you just project that confidence onto someone else. Like you.
Well, I do think she would do better than she thinks she would.
Okay.
I think she would be initially very intimidated by just the scale of the buttons and levers and
As
things.
would I. Yeah.
But I think it depends on who's on the other end.
Okay.
I think that has a who's on the other end of the radio. I think is the much bigger deal.
Right.
But I think if somebody was on the other end and was kind of like calmly going through what she needed to do and was able to describe like, hey, it's the red handle.
Right.
I think she'd do fine. She's good in the crisis, honestly.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I think most people would do better than they think they would.
Okay. I think that plane is hitting the ground.
I think with guidance, like I think you could do it. Like there's only so many, at the end of the day, it's lift, it's drag.
But it's not
thrust.
It's not lift and drag to like I think it's just like a control, and it's like a left and a right and a back and a forth, right? I think that this kind of goes back to one thing that we were talking about way early on in our friendship, where we were talking about like your approach to teaching Jenny how to drive a manual transmission. And like you were explaining like exactly kind of like what the clutch was doing.
Right, which did not work.
Right. But for somebody like you want that information, right?
Like, I have to have it.
Right.
If I don't have that, yeah.
Right. You don't like just like a blind reason, right?
Right.
Or like, or just kind of having a limited thing, Yeah. So I think that does go back to like how, like what you want, right? Which I think is really fascinating. Yeah. I deal with that at work a lot, like in my role now, where like I will recognize that, like, say somebody puts together training materials, like they are putting together the training materials that they would want, or writing something that they would want, versus like what other people might need to hear or want to hear. Yeah.
You know what? I had that experience, this exact experience at work very recently.
Okay.
Is that I put together a training class for my career field and have been like delivering it to customers, like doing it in front of customers.
Yeah.
And it had been going really well. And then I had one class that just did not respond to it at all. It was nothing. Like I was just dying on my ass like for 8 hours.
Right.
Which was terrible. But so I went to one of my coworkers and I was like, hey, can I just like give you my training class?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
To just prove that like I'm not crazy and I just didn't write this for myself.
Right. Right.
And he gave me some notes or whatever, but generally said like, no, your approach is fine. But that I worry about that all the time. And when you're explaining something to someone, and I think that car people definitely are guilty of this as a stereotype of like, oh, you don't know the engine codes
Right.
for Nissans in the 1990s? Like, you know, not everybody walks around with the same knowledge in their head. And so you have to kind of triangulate between like over explaining, which can be seen as disrespectful, obviously.
Right. True.
And making assumptions about what people know.
Right.
Right. And it's a tricky skill to learn to be able to do that well.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And flight instructors in particular have to be excellent at that.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Right. Which is why I think most of the time it's going to go well. But we talked to Mental about this.
Right.
Too,
right.
On the show about how to manage a person when you're doing 120 miles an hour on the ground.
Right.
You know, I think that's probably a pretty similar skill set to a flight instructor, right?
Yeah.
Where you have to give instruction that's clear and concise
and lands.
and will work with a wide range of personality types.
Right. Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not as easy as it sounds.
It's not, because I think that there's really an intuition that you have to rely on when it comes to like how your conversations with that person or that team of people have gone up until that point, right? Where like in a way, like by them communicating to you, you're kind of listening to how they want to be communicated with, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that that's a key part is listening, right? And like in the automotive community, it's difficult to I think it's difficult for people to recognize or to be compelled to just listen to others, you know?
Right.
And yeah,
well, and I think
a guy with a podcast just said it's hard for people to listen to him.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
I also that was also one of the reasons we asked him that question that we did, which is like, is it harder to manage a race car or is it harder to manage a student who's driving a race car, right? Like that, I think a lot of people in the automotive community might just say, well, it's easier to manage a mechanical thing, right? Because they don't talk back to you.
Right.
unless it's a Saab, in which case it talks back to you all the time.
Yes.
Right? I mean, that's sort of a thing with like nerds of any stripe.
Right. Exactly. Right. Having nerve endings that are receptive to that thing. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. Yeah.
Anyway, so I think the harder job of the two ends of the radio, I think the person giving instruction in the tower that's the harder job of the two.
I think, well, I don't know. They certainly have less consequences.
Well, I mean, they do and they don't.
Is there a flight simulator place that we could go to where we could actually act this out?
This is now I like.
This is what I want. This is what I want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Surely.
Look at you thinking like you want to Google right now, but you're on your laptop and you only have one screen. So it's filled with this idiot right here.
Yeah, because normally I'd be like, oh. But,
yeah. Okay.
I know.
Okay.
We need to figure this out.
Yeah.
We need to do this. Yeah.
Yeah. Listeners, if you think Ian could land the plane or I could land the plane. Yeah. Or you could land the plane, listener. Sound off in the comments on YouTube. Yeah.
Leave us a voicemail.
Yeah. There you go. 720-515-1391.
You can also text us.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Let us know what you think. If one or both of us are completely delusional.
Yeah. Yep. And if you think you could land that plane. Yeah.
Now, how much whiskey am I allowed to have in the cockpit?
You get the full cart, the full beverage cart.
Yeah. I think that should be the rule. If you are a civilian and you land a jetliner, you just get all the little bottles. You get them all.
Yep. Yeah, you get to take home the beverage cart. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I like that. I like that, Ian. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. So I have to say, Ian, given your confidence in this kind of realm,
Uh-huh.
I wonder if you have so much confidence that you have, I don't know, maybe been confident enough to send your car through the emissions testing cycle yet.
You know what? I am confident in a great, great many things. The one thing I'm not confident in is my time management skills. So no, I have not.
Okay. Okay. All right. This segment is going to drag on and
You're
on.
gonna have to make an audio tag for it soon.
I know. I'll have to make some other song. Yeah.
It's gonna be like a tick, 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 tick.
Yep. There you go. Thank you. I'm going to download the 60 Minutes theme song right now. Thank you,
Yep.
Ian. Uh-huh.
The sound of somebody writing me a parking ticket.
Yes. And then I'm going to yell at you like whatever his name was, Andy Rooney. And
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And Morley Safer. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. I hadn't gotten any panic texts from
That's what
you.
she said.
Yeah. Ian. Oh, we read off the text phone number earlier, 720-515-1391. I just want to put a reminder out there for people to show us their cars.
Yes, for the last episode of the year, we will be showing some listener cars on the show and reacting to them.
Absolutely.
Positively, I've been told strongly.
As I stab a fork into your leg underneath the table. This is why we don't record in person anymore.
Right. Yeah. Too many stabby stabs.
Yeah. Yeah. So email apexadjacent@gmail.com, 720-515-1391. Text them to us because we already have some submissions, submissions that I'm really excited about. And yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything, but yeah. Okay. Yeah, you haven't been looking in the inbox or anything, have you? Yeah.
I haven't.
Okay.
No.
Okay. All right. Well then, yes. Okay. So we're going to have a good time. Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Ian, I have this on the talk abouts, dude. I don't know. Ian, do we have to talk about it?
I don't know what you are referring to, but I might.
Do we have to talk about it, Ian?
Well, now I think we do.
Do we have to talk about it?
I think we might.
Ian, do we have to talk about it?
What's it? I want to know.
If you just Google automotive news right now, what do you think one of the first articles is going to be about? God damn it, Ian. Do we have to talk about it on this show?
I think we do. We do need to talk about it. But
can I lay down for a minute while you talk to the listeners?
Well, a bit, because this feeling is what I wanted to talk about.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
This exact feeling here.
Okay.
So that Dave is refusing to say is our old buddy, the tech buggy. Cybertruck. Sorry, Cybertruck. Yeah. So the embargo was lifted on press stories about the Cybertruck this week, and it was immediately just like a shitstorm because and this,
which we knew it was going to be. We knew it was going to be.
Of course.
Sorry
because,
to interrupt.
Yeah. No. Because of course it was. And I feel like I have this feeling of, I don't know, I'm a pretty, like, I think both of us have pretty good, like news skills and having grown up with the internet, pretty good bullshit detectors, right? And for most of my life, I felt like I would be able to see a news story and be able to be like, that seems suspect. Or like, there's some bias showing here or whatever. Like my senses for that are fairly well honed. And I think most of the people, like, especially in our age bracket, who are kind of like straddling that like internet age and pre-internet age, pretty good at that.
Right. Right. We had to evolve filters to survive, filtering mechanisms in our minds to weed out advertisements, pop-ups, embedded ads, all kinds of stuff. And a lot of folks that have, that have grown up along these timelines, we've truly evolved filtering mechanisms. We just have.
Right. Because we had nobody to give us advice on how to deal with that stuff, right?
Right.
Like we were the first ones to really be like young people growing up the internet.
Yeah, we had to be our own spam filters.
Yeah, exactly. Because they did not exist back in the day.
No, they didn't.
But now I feel like, with everything that's happened in the world in the last 8 years, it just more and more often I feel like I can't make heads or tails of a news story.
Okay.
Of any event that's happening in the world. I mean, Middle East situation right now, I have no fucking idea what to believe about any of it.
Right.
And it feels very I feel very unmoored a lot of the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, which is why I think a lot of folks seek out comfort in news that comforts them, whether it's correct or not. Right.
Which is an understandable impulse, but an unhealthy one.
Yes, it is very problematic, but yeah.
Right. And so the Cybertruck thing this week is just like another example of that, where like the big thing that happened was Jason Camisa, who has a lot of respect and rightfully so in the automotive community, put out this really long video, and he does amazing video. He's like my favorite.
His Haggerty videos are amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Him and Chris Harris are my two favorite video people, for sure. They're both great at it. They're both very smart. And Jason is always very well informed and has like really like incisive things to say about stuff. And the Cybertruck video fell off. I don't know if you watched it, but
I have not. Yeah.
It was weird. It was like he was doing somebody had cast a Jason Camisa type. Like it was like, I don't know. It just felt there was definitely just something you couldn't put your finger on that just felt a little off about it. And a lot of people accused him because of that feeling of it being an ad or just being, kind of a shill for Tesla. Because he kind of glossed over some things that seemed like a thing that he wouldn't normally gloss over.
Okay.
And then a couple of things were kind of explained away and not dealt with that he would normally like kind of go hard on. And it really kind of to me exemplifies like the whole problem with Tesla and just the thing around it, right? Where you just can't, it's one of those things in the world where like there's now so many people have so much riding on its success or failure,
right?
That everybody has an axe to grind. And so even if somebody does approach it, in totally good faith, like if Jason had if it's true that he did this video in totally in good faith and really had a change of heart and legitimately loved it, but maybe didn't have as much time with it because that's kind of the explanation.
Sure.
That's the most favorable view. If all that is true, it almost doesn't even matter because the reaction to it is so loaded and like, you don't know, is the reaction legitimate or not?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like you can almost like a good indicator of oftentimes of if something is valid or not is you just wait around to see who gets angry about it.
Right. Yeah.
But like with this, like everybody's angry.
Right.
And then there's anger at the anger. And then like, it's impossible to untangle.
Okay.
And it's almost like it's the car review that we deserve for our time,
Okay. Yeah.
And it's annoying, but fitting.
Right. The world now does not have the ability to surprise us, right? We just hop straight to the disappointment.
Right. Right. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that one thing that I take away from kind of your reaction to it, because I haven't watched it myself, but obviously I trust your instincts. Um, I think that one thing that stands out to me is that it does kind of like it flags like maybe either a spam or a false positive spam. Like there's just like an element of like uncanny valleyness to it where it's like it's just like it's Tom Hanks's eyes in Polar Express or something, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A bit.
Okay.
A bit. But it's weird that, I mean, again, like I think if that's it, if that's the only uncanny valley, as you put it, like thing that he puts out,
Right.
then of course, like it's an anomaly. Everybody, I
Right.
mean, as a public person, he is we see every piece of work that he does, right?
Right. Right.
I mean, if everybody saw every piece of work that everyone else does,
Right. Right.
like that would not be great. Um, not everything's gonna be a winner. So fine, whatever. I'll I'll put it in the back of my mind. But when it becomes a pattern, then it becomes concerning, right?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think the thing that is weird about it is that the Top Gear video was similar. The Top Gear magazine video had a
Okay.
similar tone to it. And it's just like, because Tesla's so tightly controlled with
Right.
how they do press stuff.
Right.
Um, I don't know. I don't know,
Yeah.
man.
Spidey sense is tingling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know what to read into that because
Right.
it's
Right.
so because everybody's reaction to it is so overblown that you don't know. Is it because everybody has an axe to grind about Elon and Tesla and everything else,
Right.
or is this something legitimately to worry about? You
Right.
know,
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Like, do we now have to kind of consider the source untrustworthy? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it going
Right.
on a blacklist? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, no. I'm gonna still watch his videos or whatever.
Right.
But
Right.
like, it's almost I'm almost more suspect of the reaction, right? Because the reaction just seems so outsized compared to even in the worst case scenario reading of it, you
Right.
know. Um, so it just seems it's one of those ones where I'm just like I'm confused because
Right.
I don't know if my reaction isn't strong enough. Like, am I crazy?
Right. Unmoored. Like you said, that's a fantastic term for that, Ian. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And it's just it's fitting that is of course the Cybertruck review
Right.
would
Right.
unmoor you.
Right. Right. And I think that that's part of why I've been keeping away from it. I watched one. I watched, I
Hmm.
think, the Marquise Brown, that
Mm,
tech blogger, you
I
know.
haven't seen that, but
Yeah, I
I
mean,
know I know he was one of the guys who got it.
yeah, and I think like he likes Tesla anyway. I think he owns one,
Hmm.
and so obviously, like I think that, like, pardon me, I'm already like holding a grain of salt in my hand watching the video, right?
Right.
You
Yeah,
know, right?
as you
And
should be. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know, and I don't want to watch more because I don't want to get caught up in it. Like it's a thing that exists. Like I think that it's like all of this sensationalism and stuff like that in my head seems like Elon churning a wave that he himself can surf.
Hmm.
And I don't want to be like I don't want to add to that and I don't want like my mental state to get caught up in that. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and I think I also have a sense of we've talked about this on the show before too, of like how the culture war comes for everybody.
Right.
And it seems like this is one of those times where like the discourse is
Yeah.
just taken over to the point where I'm just exhausted by the idea of a car before I even experience it in any way whatsoever. Like I've never seen one in person, and I'm already exhausted by it.
Yes.
Like, not great.
Right. Right.
But I mean, that's what some people. That's a selling point for a lot of people.
It is
the discourse around it. So,
right.
And I mean, I don't. The first, it's going to be I am very interested in the second Tesla Cybertruck owners.
Okay.
Right. The people who buy a used Cybertruck.
Right.
I have a very clear picture of who's buying a Cybertruck now.
Right. Exactly. Right? Exactly.
Who's buying the first run of the Cybertruck?
Right.
I don't have a good picture on who is going to be the second owner of a Cybertruck.
Right. Right. Yeah. I will say the person that we know that is the second owner of Tesla, it has the most honest approach about it that I've ever seen.
But yeah, I think second Model S owners,
right,
for sure, I have a pretty clear idea who those people are.
Right.
Because I know a few.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And like we feel an authenticity to their opinions about the vehicle.
Well, and also it's very plausible that you're a second Model S owner before the discourse caught up to all of it.
Right.
You know, before the larger world sort of became aware of Elon and everything else. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, tons of folks out there like that. Yeah.
Right. But the Cybertruck in particular, because it's so divisive, even among normal, just like everyday people who aren't into cars and don't follow this stuff.
Right.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just when it was announced, this is, what was this, 2017, 2019? I can't remember.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
I was walking back from lunch at the office, and there was just a stranger. I think I talked about this on the show. It was just a stranger, like just a normal other person that didn't even work where I worked, just another person walking by. And the first thing that they said was, "Man, what do you think of that Cybertruck?" Like, just some other young guy. Like, complete stranger, never seen the person before, yeah. But like, that's just what, like, like the buzz at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the discourse coming from my hobby. I just don't. I don't enjoy it. I think every time that it happens, it's not great.
And also, I don't like Elon being associated with my hobby, so there's that, yeah, sure. It sucks that there's the discourse around that kind of stuff, but also it sucks that there's players like that in it,
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm a little more, I think, circumspect about the whole Elon in being involved in the automotive industry thing, because I think that there's a pretty long history of some pretty strong assholes.
Right.
In the automotive, especially in the CEO position.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we could talk about Henry Ford.
Right.
Jesus
exactly.
Christ.
Yeah. Awful people. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
But lots and lots of awful people.
Right. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. So I guess this is the episode where we talk about the Cybertruck.
Now here's the question. If Tesla was like, "Hey, you guys are tech people, and you have a car podcast, would you like to review the Cybertruck?"
Yeah.
What would our reaction be?
I would want to put hands on it. I would want to put hands on it.
Of course we would. I would too.
Yeah.
The answer would be immediately yes.
Right. Yeah.
And then they would be like, "Well, here's some stipulations."
Right.
And then we would say, "Sure." then I push you out of the way.
Right. No. I think that this is when
let the professional liar take over.
This is when the rule follower breaks. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I would definitely be right along there with you. Yeah. Oh, buddy. Yeah.
I'd be like, "Oh yeah, We'll definitely follow all that stuff.
Yep. We will not talk about those panel gaps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the Gannel Paps.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I just, it's one of those things, like I hop on YouTube, just about every day, right? Like pull up some music playlists, stuff like that, kind of get the workday going, get some music. And there's some car stuff in the YouTubes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go
There's
figure,
a few.
right?
Yeah.
And, there'll be stuff. And I saw Cybertruck stuff and I was like, oh, fuck, today's the day. Today's the day. Like we all kind of knew this was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Today's the day. And like I clicked on one thing and then I've just been scrolling past or blocking anything else that's come up on like Instagram Reels. Like you can imagine the kinds of people that I'm blocking, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was invited, yeah. Right. Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. That was that Monday, Tuesday this week? It was Monday. Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I, again, just unmoored, don't know what to think.
Yeah.
Have no real opinion.
Yeah.
Other than skepticism of everybody who logs onto the internet to comment about it.
Yes.
Including me.
Yeah. That said, I have a few takeaways. Like if you want thoughts on the Cybertruck, I have a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want my real thoughts on the Cybertruck?
Absolutely, I do.
Okay. First of all, fucking how hard is it to keep your stainless steel appliances in your house clean?
Yeah, impossible.
Right? Okay, that's going to be a fucking nightmare. The second piece is that leading edge on the hood looks like it's going to catch everything and physically hurt people that walk around it, bump into it, stuff like that.
Well, that's why it's not for sale in
the UK,
in Europe, because I can't meet pedestrian safety standards.
Yeah.
But as Jason Camisa pointed out, neither can any other American truck.
Right.
So, I mean, that's a fair point, I guess, but it seems willfully obnoxious.
Right.
When you don't have an engine to clear.
Right.
Like if they could have made that nose any shape.
Right. And increase their user base. Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
and safety.
Yeah. No, that leading edge just looks like a nightmare. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I see that and I just think of like catching my clothes and stuff on like the end of a filing cabinet or like something like people are walking around this stuff all the time, Yeah. I don't know. I didn't like it. Obviously the pedestrian and cyclist and safety stuff like that is fucking horrific, but these are the kinds of people that are like, get off the fucking road,
Right.
Yeah. So
well, and
sucks.
I think that's part of it too, is that like there are some legitimately very interesting things and things that did move that have, I think, helped move the industry forward, like, or at least an interesting experiment, like the whole exoskeleton concept with it, where it's like the rigidity comes from the body panels.
Right.
And it allows them to move weight. I think, especially for an EV, it's a really interesting idea.
Right.
I just wish it wasn't this company who did it with that shape.
True. And it
know what I mean?
It is testing beta in prod, right?
For sure.
Right.
Because there's going to be because it's going to be impossible to untangle the merits of any of these experiments.
Right.
From the fucking discourse, which is just, it's really disappointing because we're never gonna, it's gonna be years before we really know if any of these individual experiments were successful. Right. And part of that's just because of the life cycle of the truck or whatever, but also because we got to get some distance between us and this moment.
Right. Time is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. Those are my thoughts on the Cybertruck so far. Yeah. I don't know. Also highway driving seems like a nightmare because the steering ratio is so tiny. Yeah, it looks twitchy as shit. But
it's variable. It's 100% variable. It's really interesting. So they like
that's not what I heard, that it was static, and it's like 180-degree turn is all you'll ever do with the
right.
yoke.
So they do that. They do it by varying the rate based on the speed you're going.
Yeah.
So at low speed, it's really, really fast steering.
Right.
So you can go like this.
And it turns the wheels all the way.
Yes. But then at highway speeds, it slows it down. So you would never get to this point.
Right.
Basically. Because there's no physical connection. It's all electric motors. So, I mean, there's interesting stuff in there.
Sure.
But again, no idea if any of it's good.
Right.
No idea.
Right. Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So here's our official review of the Cybertruck.
And
I'm exhausted already.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired.
Mm-hmm. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Ian, when we're recording, Christmas is 20 days away, buddy.
Dear Lord.
I know, right? But I think that you and I have a little fun Christmas thing that we talked about before the show that we're going to do for each other, because we're going to pretend to give each other a gift in this episode.
Yes. So the idea here is, and this is 100% Mr. Dave's idea. The idea here is that we select something from Craigslist that is under the budget cap of $5,000 in the Denver area, and we gift it to the other person. I think I said that it's not a white elephant exchange, it's a rusty elephant exchange, which you said.
I'm not going to say it on this show.
Oh, I'll say it. I'll say it. He said, that's what your mom asked for last night.
The old rusty elephant.
You're everybody's innocent Mr. Dave.
You
made
did
the
that.
Dirty joke.
You did that. You got me there. Yeah, you're a bad influence on me.
You got me there. That's also what your mom said last night.
Oh, Ian.
Anyway.
So the budget is $5,000. The geographic area is Craigslist. We've picked Craigslist cars that we think would be a good gift for the other person. We're going to talk about why. So would you like to give or receive first, Ian?
Let me give first.
Okay. All right.
Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So
Okay.
Ian's going to paste a link in our Talk Abouts document here.
Sure am.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to look at this in real time. I hope
this is like a gift of the Magi situation. We got ourselves.
The same thing? I don't think we did.
Okay.
Oh, whoops. Here, let's undo that because somehow I moved your text around. Okay, here we go. So Ian thinks that it would be nice to give me a little cute Mazda truck. Oh, buddy, it's a little Mazda B2000 Sundowner. You know I love a mini truck. That's fantastic, Ian.
Yes, and here's why I wanted to get this for you. I was looking specifically for small trucks.
Okay.
This is the coolest one available on Craigslist right now, under $5,000. And this is, I think, perfect for you. I don't know if you'd fit in it, but other than that, I think that 10, 20, 25 years from now, as you get into your dotage, right? 25, 30 years from now, you are going to become a world-class putterer. Like somebody who tinkers, who has a workshop that nobody knows what the fuck to do with it. Right? Like you are going to be a world-class putterer, and you're always going to have a project, and you're going to need a pickup truck, and you're going to want something like this. This is exactly what you want.
Oh, man.
right?
That hits home so hard because
But
you're talking to the guy that putters through his neighborhood at 19 to 22 miles an hour when the speed limit is 25.
I don't mean that you're going to drive slowly by puttering.
No, no,
I mean
no.
that you're going to.
That's just the whole vibe.
Like, yeah, it's the vibe. Yes,
right,
yes.
right.
You're going to be doing a project. You're not going to be in a hurry about it. It's going to be something for you. You're going to be doing it. Right?
Yeah.
You're going to take so many trips to the hardware store in a week. So many.
You're right. Oh wow, that's a great gift, Ian.
This is a retirement present, is what this is for you.
It is.
Like, no, they shouldn't give you a watch. They should give you this.
Yeah, they should give you a Mazda Sundowner. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh man, that's really nice. I like that. I really like that, Ian. Thank you, Ian. Thank you for the gift.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Now, I spent a lot on it.
You did. Now, Ian, I have to say, I bumped up against the budget on yours.
Okay.
And here, let me pull up my notes here.
I pocketed $2,000.
You did. Yeah, okay, so yours, Ian, yours is interesting. Okay? Because here, Ian, is the first part of your 2-part gift.
Oh.
Okay.
I already like where this is going.
Okay, tell the folks what you see.
This is a 1988 Jaguar XJ of some. Oh, it's the 6-cylinder.
Yep.
And it's not the coupe.
No, it's the sedan.
No, it's the sedan. Okay. All right. I like it. Oh, it's got a sunroof.
I like that they just left
I'm sure
empty Starbucks cup in the photos at the buy here, pay here lot.
Because that Starbucks cup didn't have Starbucks in it. That's just to catch whatever comes from the sunroof, I'm guessing.
I think you're right. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big car.
Uh-huh. Oh, and I like they threw just a random X-type picture in there.
Yeah.
But so this actually, it comes with another thing, Ian.
Okay.
It comes with this.
Yes.
Uh-huh. It comes with a 4-wheel drive Chevy pick-em-up truck with a 350 V8. You know why?
Yeah, because that 350 is getting yeeted out of there and into the Jag.
Straight into the XJ6. Yep. Yes. You don't have much money left over, but we're going to scrounge together something that will get these. So this is a common swap. A lot of folks do small block Chevy swaps into Jaguar vehicles. There's a fairly active support community for it. And they say that the best thing to do is to just get an entire car with the correct drivetrain. And that's what that 1996 Chevy, they put Checy, Checy, Checy Silverado has. It has the right drivetrain.
So both of these ads are A+ examples of Craigslist.
They are.
With the buy here, pay here with every model of XJ in the description.
Yes.
And then just a random X type.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
And then also, what is that? Is that just a different?
That's just another XJ. Yep.
That's so strange.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep. So there you go. Yeah. And then the Checy Silverado. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But yeah, the motor's coming out of this thing. Yep. And we're selling everything else off of it for the swap.
Mm-hmm. No, I like it. I like that a lot.
Okay.
That's because I mean, a Jag with a Chevy, a small block in it is, that works for me. That does things for me.
I think if we're going to get you in a sedan, it would need to be in these kinds of circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also this gift does come with my unlimited support. So yeah.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
Because I am not equipped to swap an engine by myself.
Right. I wanted to gift you the idea.
I follow, because if you were like, hey, here's a project for you, I'd be like, oh man.
Right.
Yeah.
So I kind of tweaked the rules a little bit, but
no, I like it.
Yeah. I love what you found, Ian. That little pick 'em up truck is just adorable, and it makes me happy just looking at it.
I in the back of my mind, I think that there is a small chance that you're going to leave this tab open.
Uh-huh.
And late tonight, you're going to get out of bed and you're going to send a message. And I really want it to happen. I really want you, because I feel like this is where we're going with it. Like eventually, you're going to be back in a small pick 'em up truck.
Yep.
And you'll have an engine in the back for your Fiat.
Yep.
You'll have,
right,
whatever project you're working on.
Yeah.
Man, it'll be in there.
Yeah.
It'll be all in the back.
Yeah. Yep. You're talking.
You have your overalls on?
Yeah, I will. You're talking to a guy that has 2 different projects on his desk right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. I love it. Thank you, Ian. I don't know how you got that to fit in a stocking, but good job.
Yeah. It's a big stocking.
Nice, man. Well, thank you, Ian. Yes. Yeah. Well, our Christmas gifts are leaky and may require some assembly, but there you go. Nice. Yeah. Batteries, I guess, are included. Yeah.
Whether they work or not, who knows?
Right. Nice. Okay. Ian, I have a license plate game for you.
That sounds great.
Also, I do need an album from you. So, dealer's choice. What do you want to do here, buddy?
Let's do the license plate game first.
Okay.
So I wanna send us out on the album.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. All right, Ian. This one, collect license plates. Eventually, as people submit them, a theme emerges. Right. This one is called X Gonna Give It To You or Take It Away From You. I don't know. License plates that start with the letter X.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. X Gonna Give It To You, Ian.
Okay.
Here you go, buddy. All right.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Dear Lord. Okay, so we've got up top a Lexus RX 350.
Yep, 350.
We've got Chevy Explorer. Ford Explorer, sorry.
Yep. Definitely not a cop.
Yep. And then we have an AMC GTX.
Plymouth GTX.
Plymouth GTX, sorry.
Yes.
Wow. And then the plates. I'm sorry. I'm so distracted by the plates.
Yeah.
I'm so distracted by the plates.
You are. Okay. And tell the people why.
These plates are fucking unhinged.
X gonna give it to you.
X-Fit Grandma. And by it, you mean an aneurysm. X-Fit Grandma.
Yep. CrossFit Grandma coming in.
Yeah. X-Fit Gma. Yeah. CrossFit Grandma, which is giving me such a headache right now. Expensive, which holy shit. And then Espresso.
Right.
Which as I said that, every Italian person's brain just fucking exploded.
Right. Because coffee people love it when somebody says espresso instead of espresso.
Espresso.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, this is.
Who's the CrossFit Grandma out of these 3? The RX, the Ford Explorer, or the GTX?
So, the easy answer here is that the grandma is in the Lexus.
Okay.
Right, because the RX 350 is a bit of a grandma's car.
Right.
However, these plates are so unhinged that I have no idea what's up or down. So can we do some zoomies and enhances, at least on the Lexus, because I can at least see that there's a license plate frame.
There is a license plate frame. It is for the Lexus dealer. It is the dealer plate frame. Yep.
Not even a whisper of tint on that car.
Nope, not a whisper of tint. Okay. All right, then the Explorer. Yeah, there's a sticker back there. Not sure what it says. No plate frame. Yep.
Yeah.
This was the best that the person could do at the time because they were so overwhelmed with the plate. I talked to them.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and then the GTX, I'm guessing there's not going to be much to go
No,
on.
yeah, just an Illinois plate and I mean a fantastic photograph. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and look at that. There's a Plymouth
There's
Prowler
a
next to
Prowler
them.
right next to him.
Yeah, with a license plate that says Prowler. Yeah. So there you go. Oh yeah, the GTX is in the yellow and black. Yeah, yellow with black stripes.
Yeah, I mean proper.
Yeah, looks great, right? Yeah.
Now,
I love a GTX. I think they're so great. Was that the car in Tommy Boy? Was it a Plymouth GTX?
I've never seen Tommy Boy.
What? You've never seen Tommy Boy?
Not all the way through. I've seen it. I'm pretty sure I've seen like all of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was a GTX, but I think that this one's a different year. Yeah. Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
What are you gonna do,
Wow.
buddy?
this is a tough one.
It
This is a
is.
legitimately
It is.
tough one.
Yeah.
Because my first thought is Espresso goes on the GTX because that's sort of like expensive being on the GTX would it would be too much for me to handle.
Look, your head's denting in. Are you okay?
I don't think I can handle. I don't think I can handle expensive on the GTX.
Okay.
It's just too douchey. It's like the singularity of douchiness, and I don't think I can. I don't think the universe would survive it.
Okay.
So I Espresso because it's a muscle car. It's fast.
Okay.
Espresso on the GTX.
Okay.
Which leaves me with the other two.
CrossFit Grandma and expensive. Who's got expensive? Who's the CrossFit Grandma? I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I think that these are in order. I think CrossFit Grandma is on the Lexus.
Okay.
I think expensive is on the
Ford Explorer.
The Ford Explorer, the least expensive car here.
Right.
And I think Espresso is on the GTX. That's what I think.
Okay. Okay.
Because I think maybe expensive refers to the driver.
Okay.
Rather than the car.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, Ian, you locked in?
Mm-hmm.
You want to change anything?
Every decision I've made in my life that led me to here. Yes.
All right, Ian. X gonna give it to you, and he's gonna give you a 0 out of 3, Ian.
That makes sense.
Expensive.
Espresso on the Lexus.
I think I have an idea about that.
Is it the color?
We'll get to it. I saw CrossFit Grandma myself in the morning on the way to an autocross event.
You talked to them.
Yeah.
They were doing the best they could. I talked to them afterwards.
That's a good Dave impression. Bring it up a little. Yeah.
I was talking to him.
There you go. That's better.
Expensive on the GTX.
Expensive on the GTX.
Dude,
Ian.
I knew it was true.
Right, but you didn't want it to be.
I didn't want it to be.
Right.
I didn't want it to be.
I think that's a good theme for this episode. Right? The things that we don't want to be true, like we really can't deal with if they're true. And here they are.
Yeah.
So thank you, Ben, for sending us the Espresso Lexus RX 350. Thank you, Eric, very much for sending us the expensive GTX. Really appreciate both of you sending those in. My theory, like CrossFit Grandma on the Explorer, like, okay, like, sure, now it all kind of clicks. I think that the person that has the RX 350, I think they legitimately own like a small coffee shop.
Yeah, that's the only plausible explanation.
Right? It's not a good coffee shop, but I think that they own a small coffee shop. Yeah.
Yep. I have been in that coffie shop.
Right?
I'm sure.
Yep. It smells like Christianity. Right? It smells a little bit too much like church. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's really funny. I was thinking, I've been in those coffee shops as well.
Yeah.
But so yes, that is a plausible explanation. It's not what I was picturing, but yes,
Uh-huh.
yes, I
Yep.
was picturing a different flavor of bad coffee shop
Right.
where it's like you're in a strange city and you just are Googling around to find something that's
Right.
not a fucking
Yes.
Starbucks or a Dunkin'.
Yes.
And you walk in and you can smell the flavored coffee as soon as you walk in
Yes.
the door, and you're like, son of a bitch.
They're brewing snickerdoodle again.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And unfortunately with the GTX, Ian, it is as bad as you think. Yeah.
It's real annoying.
Sorry, buddy. So I thank you very much for sending plates in, both Ben and Eric. 720-515-1391. I do want to reiterate, if you are sending plates, they are going to the hopper. And I put together themes. So I appreciate everyone sending in plates. I just kind of I have my own little way of doing it. So yeah, so thank you for sending plates, and I love it when something just kind of shows up. So thank you. Yeah, really appreciate it. So and if you want Ian to get the plates, DM them to us in Twitter, right? Ian,
Yes.
or Instagram, or just Twitter.
Mostly Twitter, but
Yeah,
we can do Instagram too. I'll get to them eventually in Instagram.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm
that
gonna
was
hide
horrific.
these plates. Yeah. Sorry. We're gonna pull up that little truck again. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
Just picture old man Dave
Right
around in one of these.
Yeah. Just sawzalling a hole in the roof so my head can stick out. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Would you like an album of the week?
I would love an album of the week.
Disaster of a show out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Save it, Ian. Save it. I still can't believe you'd never seen Tommy Boy. Jesus.
Well, so we are getting into holiday party season.
Ah, yeah.
And so I thought I would share my favorite Christmas album.
Okay.
I'm just joking. There is no such thing as my favorite Christmas album. I hate them all.
Have you heard the John Waters Christmas album?
I haven't.
No, yeah, he put out a Christmas album a while ago. It's a compilation of just really weird Christmas songs. Yeah, it's John Waters Wood. Yeah. If you like one, maybe you'll like that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I did enjoy. I like the Bob Dylan one.
Okay,
because it's also fucking unhinged. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Christmas music is terrible. So instead, I did pick something that could be appropriate for a holiday party, which is just like it's a crowd pleaser in that it can fade into the background. But if you want to take a closer listen, like, oh, there's some like interesting stuff there. It's familiar and yet different. So it's by a real up and comer who not a lot of people may know, named Beck. It's one of my favorite Beck albums, but it's not usually in people's ranking of favorite Beck albums, which is Modern Guilt. And it's the one that Danger Mouse produced.
Yep. Yep. I am familiar with this. I've listened to it. It's a good album.
I love this record. It's such a good, you have people over at the house and you have mixed company record, because anybody who like would key in on it will be pleased, because it's a very pleasing album. It's got that Danger Mouse magic to it, right? Where it's just like a pleasing thing to listen to. Yeah. Like the sounds are nice.
Right.
And you know, Beck is a great songwriter, so that's great, but it sort of can fade into the background as well, and it's fine.
Right.
So it's a good thing to play during, like, you've got 3 generations in the house. You can put this on, you'll be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody's gonna complain. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You'll only get compliments on it, or people will not even notice it's there.
Right. Oh, there's music on? Oh, okay. Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So that's where I'm going. It's one of my go-to. People at the house don't know what their music taste is.
Yeah.
Put that on them. I will enjoy myself. 2 other people will enjoy themselves. Everyone else will not notice it.
No. Yeah. This is a great album. Yeah. Yeah. Really, really jazzed on this pick, Ian.
Also, a very good thing of the cardinal rule of you take whatever Pitchfork says, add 2.
Add 2.
And if it becomes more than 10, then it goes back around.
Right. Right. Yep. So yeah, a Pitchfork on the curve is a 9.0.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, buddy. Nice. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. So I don't know if Beck has Bandcamp or not, but yeah, Apple Music and Spotify for sure will be in the description. And there you go. Ian, I want to tell you right now, the next time that we record, out of all of our albums of the week, I would love to hear I want like your top 5 that you recommended out of the albums of the week. Would you mind doing this? And then just give us another like 5 albums to round out like an Ian top 10?
Sure. So 5 that I recommended, and then you want like 5 from 2023?
Yeah, 5 from 2023 would be awesome.
Okay. I think I can do that.
Yeah. I would love to hear it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can do that.
Okay.
I'll have to remember what I recommended, which will be, I'll be going through our YouTube page for the first time in a long time. But
we need to hire an intern. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. So awesome, buddy. Even though we had some uncomfortable topics, we chopped through it, right? The discourse on the discourse on the discourse. Yeah. But I'm thankful to ride shoddy with you in our tech buggy, buddy. You know, very, very, very thankful for that. Yeah.
Me too. I wouldn't do it with anybody else.
Nope.
Everybody, thank you so much. Dave and I are tired. We love you. Good night. So tired.